Hello, everyone. My name is Nathan Merkel. Welcome to Sports Stories, the podcast. This Sports Catered podcast will discuss different stories that we as humans have experience in, with, and through sports. Hopefully, providing context to the following questions. What makes sports so special? And how do sports impact us as humans? I'll dive headfirst into these questions through some critical conversations with a wide variety of guests on the show. With my current background in research and academia, I'll be looking to bridge the gap between practicality and research. I truly hope you enjoy the show. Thank you. All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Sports Stories, the podcast. I'm very excited about this episode. I'm welcomed by Cody and Gary, hosts of the Royally Quacked podcasts on all platforms. Go ahead and check them out. They cover the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings in the NHL. Cody and Gary, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this episode. We've got some really cool content covered and planned for this episode. I'm wondering if y'all could just sort of paint me a picture of why you started this podcast and how you sort of came up with the idea or the name for Royally Quacked. I think that's a really fun name.
No, well, since it was pretty much my idea to start, I guess I'll explain. So, I don't know. I think I've always enjoyed watching hockey. I always like talking about it and everything, and so I figured I'm gonna start a Ducks podcast. That's what the plan was, and I was afraid to do it by myself. Like I wasn't comfortable. Even our first episode, I still wasn't very comfortable. And sometimes I'm still not comfortable, but I've gotten a lot better at it. Because English is not my first language either, so that doesn't help. But I guess I wanted to do a Ducks podcast, and I couldn't find anyone to really work off of. It's either like, my schedule didn't work with theirs and vice versa. Just nobody had the time. So, and luckily, like me, I drive for a living. My dad drove for a living, and we were already talking all the time, which was pretty much like our podcast. And then you came up with the idea. I was like, well, why don't we do a father-son Ducks and Kings podcast? And I was like, that sounds awesome. It'd be something different. Father-son hockey rivalry podcast. And I was like, all right, well, now all we need is a name. And I went on like ChatGPT and all this. I couldn't find a name. I was sending him names at least like 2 to 3 times a day. Nothing sounded good. And then out of nowhere, I'll let you say this part, Dad.
Okay, so I used to pick up medical specimens for cancer at hospitals. And I was at Pomerado Hospital in Poway. I walked out and it just popped in my head, Royally Quacked. And I go, I like that. And I was so excited. I think I even I don't run well anymore because I'm old, but I think I jogged to the car, got the car started, and dialed up Cody. And I gave him the name. He liked it. And, we didn't start right away after that, but I think it sunk in, and that was the name we stuck with, is Royally Quacked.
That's really cool. Yeah. Have you ever thought of like, has any thought or desire of like changing the name or rebranding ever occurred? Or do you think this will probably be the name for forever? Because when I started this podcast, I actually changed the name 2 episodes in, and it's a pain in the butt to try and change everything and rebrand. And like, do you think this is the name forever?
Yes. I feel like this is the name forever. We got shirts, so cool. I got stickers. It'd be kind of pointless changing it now.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. I
know it's like a lot of people sometimes have a hard time saying it, but I like the name. It fits us.
I like it. It's almost like the quack is royal. Like it makes it really cool. Like it's just a really cool name, and I think it's very unique. And I think it's very catchy too. It's very memorable. And so I envy y'all for that, because my initial name of my podcast was Rebuilding the Ivory Tower. It was like just a mouthful, and it made no sense. And people, when I described it to somebody, they had no idea what it was. And I think y'all sort of hit the nail on the head here, where it's about the Ducks and the Kings, which are royally quacked. And I think that's really cool. So I'd love to transition into the content of this episode. And while Cody and I were on the phone actually a week ago trying to conceptualize this episode, we came up with the idea of a sort of like state of the league union episode where we could get on and talk about how the NHL is doing as a whole just this year, and talk about the ups and downs, the highs, the lows. Why do people care? Why do we not care? Is it growing? Is it not? And sort of just provide an 10,000-foot view of the league. And is it actually growing? Hopefully we can answer that question here in a few minutes. But I sort of wanted to start off with a very timely question. My initial question for all of us is like, now that we've won the Olympics, now that we've won gold, thanks to the Hughes overtime golden goal, which is really cool, do we think that people are actually going to watch that and then take that and then transition into being more fans of the NHL? Do we think people actually care? I'm just curious, do we think that us winning gold will generate more interest into the NHL?
Well, I would say yes. I think it's good. It's a slow process. I mean, that game was at 5:00 or 5:10 our time on Sunday morning. I got up and I was watching that, but I couldn't even watch the whole game because my wife and I go to church every Sunday, and we have teams we run at our church. I was watching it on my phone, and the preacher who was preaching, honestly, as soon as the game was over, he he made an announcement, and a couple of people go, "Oh, I was taping that. I didn't want to know the answer, or the result of the game." So, he ended up, I think, in the second service apologizing, but said it anyways. I think he said it at all 4 services. So, a pastor at a church was, passionate about hockey, and there was a lot of people that really who aren't hockey fans. I think that they were into it. Now, is that gonna fuel them to be a total hockey fan? Sometimes that takes time. And I can tell you the biggest reason why hockey isn't bigger than some of the other sports. People don't understand it.
I agree.
They don't. They go, "What's offsides? What's icing? What's this? Hey, where's that puck? I can't even find it." I go, "Well, I found the key thing for that. I'm hoping Cody pops back in, so I'm not doing all the talking. Is you go to a game with someone who knows the game, and there's if there's a big bunch of people in the corner, chances are the puck's there. And if they're hitting on each other, the puck's there. And eventually it's easier to follow the puck. It's never easy to follow the puck, but it's easier because I've been a fan for 50 some odd years. And it took me a long time to be able to follow the puck. And those are the reasons why people aren't as passionate about it, because they don't understand it. But, if you can go with someone who's passionate about hockey to a hockey game, you'll want to go again. Absolutely.
Yeah. I really agree with that. And I think what's really interesting is I think it was over the last like 2 or 3 years where in the stadium on the Jumbotron, they will actually put in like a puck trail on the TV. And you'll see
like that. You see the puck and you have that trail behind it. Yeah. They tried that with like the ESPN for a while, but then it got to be
I think
too much.
I think it, like I said, it's really interesting. I agree with you. I think it's you sort of get to a point where it might be too much going on. There's already people.
I mean, maybe a little smaller trail or something. I mean, they still do it sometimes, but they're not. I don't know. I absolutely appreciate it sometimes, and sometimes I go, I can follow that
Right.
puck. So
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think what's really funny is like when I first started watching, I had no idea what icing was ever, even though I would play NHL all the time, all these things, but I never understood the rules and I never understood what icing meant. And I never fully grasped offside or all these fouls and penalties and whatever. And like, I agree. I think that's probably one of the biggest barriers to hockey is I think it's just so it's not very like user friendly. Like it's if we were to just show somebody a game and be like, try to figure this out, I feel like it'd take a while for somebody to grasp what's going on. Whereas like baseball is one of the most like easiest concepts ever. Like throw ball, hit ball, run, like score, run, catch ball. Yep. Score runs. That's about it. But with hockey, there's just so many moving pieces and so many things going on that like, and you got fights, you got like all these things going on. And I'm like, what the heck? How does a 5-minute fist fight like help hockey? And it's just like really funny to me.
Well, we do have a little help on Royally Quacked for that. Not to make a plug, but
Now's the
while
time.
we're here, let's make a plug. During the off-season, we started in February. We just had our 2-year anniversary. Doing this. But that first off-season, we did Hockey 101. We did like hockey terms. There's a lot of slang in hockey. And some of it I didn't even know. I'll be honest with you. But I mean, we gave you what the words mean, how they mean, explained icing, all the different penalties, sometimes just the concept of what they're trying to do. I would like to remake that because we're much better podcasters now than we were then. I mean, because that first episode, I thought it was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I still struggle listening to myself talk.
I agree.
I mean, I listen to Cody and I go, he sounds so good. And I go, God, I'm just holding him back. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. I think I've kind of talked to a few people. A lot of people don't like to hear themselves talk. And we have we've had some other hockey podcasts on ours, like Locked On Kings, Eddie Garcia. Oh my God.
There we go.
Hey, there he is. I don't know if you've ever heard his voice, but he's got to love his voice because I do.
So now that we've won the Olympics through the Hughes goal in overtime, do we actually think that us winning or the U.S. team winning gold, is that going to actually grow the NHL in the U.S.? Is that actually going to transition into like a tangible growth for the league? Or is this one of those like, oh, this is really cool for about a week and then people forget and move on with their lives? And so I'm just curious what we think.
So like I said, I didn't hear my dad's full answer. But this is what I was thinking, because after the Four Nations, I noticed a huge bump in viewership right after that. Like even my friends at work, like they knew hockey, they never watched it. Now they're watching it, they're betting on it now too, and stuff like that. So like they're doing the prize picks, the underdog, and everything like that. They're even asking for my opinion on a lot of it too, since I know the game very well. So I think yes, it has. I think it will grow because I believe the guys that were in that USA team, the '96 World Cup win, they started following the game after the 1980s Olympics. And some of the guys that we're seeing now today, they remember from that '96 World Cup win, and maybe I think it might grow more. Like we see what Ryan Smith is doing in Utah too. He's building so many hockey rinks across Utah to build the game. So I think yes, it especially like how intending the players are now, like the skill level. I think it's just going to grow the game more and more. So I think yes, it's going to be great for the game.
Well, the other thing I was going to throw out is the NHL commercials they have. Some of them are I mean, I'd say most of them are pretty
Mm.
darn good. I mean, you have them in the crowd. They're all sitting there making little comments, and it's Quinn Hughes and Charlie McAvoy. And,
Oh, the AI one.
Yeah.
No, they're talking about AI.
Oh, that's that one. And then you have that whole play from Sidney Crosby and Mark Anthony Fleury.
Andre.
Andre Fleury.
Same thing.
I'm terrible.
Oh
with
God,
names.
yes, he is.
Well, anyways, they used to play jokes
Yeah.
on each other, and I got to tell you, when I think I've seen those more on
Mhm.
reels. It's funny. I mean, wasn't Fleury acting like he was Crosby
Yeah,
in
he
one?
took off like a mask and everything. Yeah.
I mean, it was just those are going to help grow the game. It's a slower growth than I'd like to see, but it is growing, and one proof of that is how the salary cap keeps going up. So more money's coming in. So I mean, it's going to grow. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was a basketball player. I love basketball. I did like hockey. But I grew probably in my 27, 28 when I started playing that
Yeah.
street hockey. I was a fanatic, and then it never
Right.
stopped. And I would watch the Kings all the time. Obviously took Cody to the Mighty Duck movies. He's watching the cartoons and Wild Wing, and he had that little stick, which, man, I don't think we have that anymore, but I think that didn't even go up to your knee
Oh
now.
God, no, I wouldn't.
So I mean, our family is really hockey oriented, and it wasn't like we were living in an area where you could just go skate on a
Right.
pond and go play. I mean, it's more popular now than it was when I played street hockey back 41 years ago. So when I started playing street hockey.
It's interesting. Do y'all think the growth of hockey depends on sort of like where you live geographically? Because coming up in St. Louis, like I know there's a number of St. Louisans in the NHL right now with the Kachucks. Who else? I think there's a couple more that are originally from St. Louis, but it's not as easily accessible as some other places. And like, y'all coming from California, like, do y'all see, are there a ton of arenas around that like grows the game, or is this more so?
Well, Kings, Ducks, what was it? Who else played in the rookie face-off?
The Sharks.
They only had 3 teams, but 5 Points and Irvine had how many rinks inside that big building?
I want to say 3 or 4 or 5 ice rinks in just one thing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you have that. You do have rinks around. See, the hardest part about the kids playing is it's the most expensive sport to play. And that makes it harder.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we have Californians in the NHL.
Yeah.
I mean, Austin Matthews originally, I know he moved to Arizona, but he was a Californian. Trevor Moore from the Kings is a Californian. Dustin Wolf, the starting goalie for the Calgary Flames, is from California.
The Robertsons.
3 just that I know of.
Jason Robertson and Nick Robertson.
Oh, I forgot about Jason.
Wow.
Jason Robertson, I mean, obviously was good enough to play on that gold medal team, but somehow he didn't get selected. And I mean, you can't say anything now. We won the gold.
Yeah, right.
But he was well deserving to play on that team.
Is he Dallas? Dallas Stars?
Dallas, yeah.
Dallas Stars, yeah.
Yeah.
Future Anaheim Duck.
I remember that name, yeah. Being a Blues fan, I know some of the Stars and Wild and Blackhawks players, so
you would know them very well.
Yeah.
I do, unfortunately, because they always beat us. Because we've only been good for 1 year in 19, and then now we've kind of been in the rebuilding phase for about 6 years now. So, but I think we're on the come up.
So here's a quick question for you.
Yeah.
You ever curious why Bennington doesn't play that well for you anymore as he does for Canada?
Yeah, I've actually asked this question to some of my friends, and like how does it feel for us as a St. Louis Blues fan watching Bennington play for the Blues, and he, on average, this year has really not been that good. And Joel Hofer has stepped up a lot, but like watching him go to play for Canada and be like really good and play very well for them, it's sort of like confusing to me, and not really sure what that is supposed to mean. And maybe it's one of those things that you just don't look too much into it, but also like, why is that the case? Maybe it's time for him to move on to bigger and better fields, but I don't know. It is a little frustrating because Bennington had that one great year in 19, insane in the playoffs in 19, and then after that, it's sort of been like aggressively average. So
aggressively average.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's basically
aggressively like, average.
It's like because he is average, but he's also there's moments where you're like, whoa, okay, here's the Benner we know from the playoffs. But then another game, like, okay, yep, here we're back. So it's like the aggression comes, and then it like goes away. So
I'm gonna steal that, by the way.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was good.
So yeah, it's part of me, and I've also seen rumors that Robert Thomas might get traded too, but I don't know. It's one of those things. I think it is almost time that Benner moves on, because we've got Joel Hofer. He's great. He's up and coming. I think he's a good young talent, but I don't know. It's a little weird. It seems very streaky. So yeah, that's sort of my take on Benner. Hopefully he makes a decision and we make a decision in the future, but we'll see. I don't know. He's got that name to him. So
this next week could be very big for you guys.
Yeah.
And according to Cody, he'll take Thomas or Kyrou from you guys.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Honestly, and I started thinking about, I would take Parayko too. We can use a nice.
I think Parayko is very underrated.
Because he's a nice big right-handed shot defenseman. That's what we can use.
Yep. Yeah. He's one of those. It was really funny. My dad had trouble pronouncing his name and called him Paranko, and we call him like panko breadcrumbs, so we call him the breadcrumb guy. Because
I like it.
we tried to pronounce his name Paranko, and it just like came out as Panko. So now we call him the breadcrumb guy. But
that's good.
Yeah, I think he's like a really underrated player. Colton is, and he's got an insane power on his slap shot too. And yeah, I think he's a massive right-handed shot and great for defense, but for some reason, the rest of our defensemen just can't figure it out yet. So I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know if you're any worse than us. So
I think we're all of our teams are aggressively average this year.
Well, actually, the Ducks are in second place in the Pacific.
The Ducks are a bit more aggressive.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but like we keep having those like
more aggressive.
We'll win 7, lose 9, win 7. I'm just keep waiting it to kind of even out.
You're still in second. We're third to last in the Pacific right now, I think. Well, Seattle's just below us, but they still have 2 games to play. Not Seattle, San Jose.
Yeah, and they look good.
They look really good.
Yeah, I wanted to ask y'all this question. Gary, you brought this up earlier about Utah. I'm curious what we think about how Phoenix relocated from Coyotes relocated from Phoenix to Utah, and do we think that was Utah the right place for them to go?
Well, I think they've welcomed them arms open wide.
Yeah.
And they have an owner who cares.
Right.
Because in Arizona, he kind of cared. I mean, all he had to do is he found land, but then he didn't have enough money to do everything. So I think it's a great move for the franchise right now, because the Smiths, I mean, they own the Jazz too, the NBA team. They care. They really do. And they did so much to welcome all the players. And, you know, I know last year we had they were possibly a pretty good playoff team and then kind of just fell off. But they're playing pretty well this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the name, the Mammoth. We were still hoping for the Yeti.
Yeah, I was actually voting for the Yeti. I think the Yeti would be cool, but I think there's wouldn't have been like trademark issues with the Yeti Cooler Company. Would that have been? I think that's probably what it was.
And Cody had another name, but my wife won't let us say it. So,
Well, she's probably not going to listen to this.
well, then you can say it because it was your idea.
So it's a. I don't know. You can cut this out if you want. It was the Utah Storm and Mormons.
I actually like that. That's really funny.
So, because the reason we came up with that name is because back when I played soccer, we had a kid on our team. He was Mormon, and that guy had anger issues.
Yeah.
And he stormed around, so that's how we got the names, the Storm and Mormons.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of those the concept in marketing of crowdsourcing. Like, imagine if the NHL came out and said, "Hey, we're doing an expansion team in Utah," and people would submit names, and like imagine that was the one that came through, because I know that it was like Yeti, Mammoth. What was the other? There's a couple
Yeti,
others.
Mammoth. Oh God.
I forgot
Venom?
the other ones.
Yeah, Venom was one.
Yeah.
And they also had another one. It had to do with like the mountains. I forgot what it was called.
Oh, you're right. Because there are mountains there. The Rock, no. Yeah, you're right. It had to do, had something to do with some form of mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I kind of like Storm and Mormons a bit better. That one's funny. Like, I think it's comical. And it makes more sense than like the Mammoth. I mean, Mammoth is cool. I like that too. But I agree, Gary. I think the Yeti. I think the Yeti would have been a bit cooler. But unfortunately,
a bit cooler.
Yeah. See, you like that one?
Hey
yo.
It was the Outlaws, not Venom. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, it was Outlaws. Now that you mentioned, I remember that now.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I'd have never thought of it if you didn't bring it up. So.
Oh, it was the Wasatch. The Utah Wasatch.
What is that?
I think it's like the mountains. I'm sorry, I'm looking it up right now.
The Wasatch?
It's like the name of their mountains, I want to say.
Huh. I feel like that's a name only the people from Utah would know.
Wasatch is a reference to Wasatch Mountains, which run north to south along the east side of Salt Lake Valley.
How would anybody outside of Utah know that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, they wanted to make it like Utah friendly.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, everybody would probably just call them, "What's up?"
Yeah.
What's up?
Utah, what's up?
You would just see the guy from the scary movies. What's that?
Oh my gosh, exactly. Yeah, that's so funny. It makes me think of like team names and where they all came from and the historic value of them and all these things. And like, it's just, I think that's really funny. Like, culturally speaking, I think the Storm and Mormons would have been, I think that would have been key. That's good.
I'm glad you were gutsy enough to do that, kid.
Yeah.
I don't want your mom on my bad side. But I didn't say it.
You do that all on your own, though.
Yeah.
Well, I do that. That's why I don't want to say that.
That's quite funny, though. I like that. It's really funny. I wanted to ask then another question of the Stadium Series that happened in 26, that happened in Tampa. And I'm curious. I saw a stat that there's a 30% increase in viewership from last year onto this year. I think was it last year's, the 25s was the Blues versus the Blackhawks. And I saw a stat that it was like only 900,000 viewers that year. And it was one of the lowest in recorded in history. Do y'all think that the Stadium Series is getting a bit repetitive? Do you think people are sort of over it at this point, or what do you think?
I'm over of the same teams getting it.
Yeah.
Like, I think this last year, I mean, the Bruins have been in it many times, but at least the Lightning were someone new. And next year, I'm actually looking forward to it because it's going to be the Stars in Vegas and like two different teams.
Yeah.
Because it's always been like, oh, Blackhawks are getting it. New York's getting one. Boston's getting it. It's always Pittsburgh. Like the same 4 or 5 teams, and it gets too repetitive. That's why I'm like, and I think that's why last year was so bad. I was like, okay, you picked a Blues team who wasn't really good until after that, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And the Blackhawks were a bottom team. Like, I think they only gave it because Bedard was on the team.
Yeah, I agree.
So I was like, that's just horrible marketing right there alone. That you're picking two, one bad team, one mediocre team. But, I think with the Stars in Vegas, I think that's going to be a lot better because it's two better teams that, and I think, they have a decent rivalry against each other. They're usually playing against each other in the playoffs. So I think that one will bring a lot more viewers too. And it's in Jerry's world.
If that would have been, 2013, 2011, I think that game would have been bigger because the Blackhawks were one of the best teams in hockey. And then you guys, you're always, St. Louis is always competitive, typically, but neither team was just playing well that year. I think that probably knocked down the attendance a little bit. But the other thing, visually, this last game, how they came up with their uniforms, it was eye popping.
Yeah.
And you know what? Women who get into hockey, sometimes they're bigger fans than their husbands. I mean, we went to a game for my birthday at the Staples Center. It was Staples Center, I think, then, before it's crypto.com. It was Cody, myself, and my son-in-law. And there was 6 girls sitting to the right of me. And the girl right of me, it was her birthday. And that's what she wanted to do. So all of her friends took her to the game.
Wow.
And they were yelling and screaming more than me and Cody and my son-in-law were doing. They had just passion for the game.
Yeah.
So eye-popping uniforms, that's going to attract more women.
Yeah.
They like fashion. Most of the time they have to help us dress, right? So, I mean, and the other thing is, obviously I truly believe my family loves hockey because I loved hockey and they were around it. I can remember when my wife was a Kings fan. That's long before the Ducks became a thing, but she worked at Disney. The minute that happened, she traded and broke my heart.
She traded right.
Became a Ducks fan. And no, I'm just kidding. It didn't really break my heart, but I'm the lone Kings fan most of the time in my household. So, but she's passionate, very passionate about hockey.
Yeah, she's even texting me about certain things in Ducks games, like why did this happen? How she's watching more games, and sometimes I don't get off work in time, or I'm on call at work, so I have to go do a job in the middle of the night and stuff like that. So she'll text me like, "Are you watching the game?" And usually when that happens, it's not usually a good thing for the Ducks.
Usually not that good. That's really interesting. I wanted to ask y'all this question. Y'all got a little bit into detail on this. I'm curious, what do we think is influencing people to watch hockey or to just get involved in hockey? Because Gary, you shared a story of these 6 women that went for her birthday party, but like what do we think is the reason? Like, what is influencing people or like socializing people to want to watch hockey? Like, what do y'all think?
Well, part of it is somebody who is passionate about hockey shared it with them. Because when Cody first met his wife, I don't think she knew what hockey was. But I'll be honest with you, we go to a hockey game. She's the most passionate one. I mean, wow. I mean,
she likes the fighting.
She likes the fighting. We went to a AHL game down in San Diego, and both teams. I mean, it's rival. It was the Ducks and Kings AHL teams playing, and they don't like each other, and they kept wanting to fight, and the referee stopped them. She got up and was screaming, and the guy right in front of her was turning around looking at her and laughing so hard
Oh
because
my
he's
God.
going, wow, I know he was thinking, she is so passionate about the game. So, men don't always express it. I think women do more. And more women went to the games. They probably wouldn't let us buy tickets. I mean, because they go and they're into it. Come on. I can hear my wife. I'll be watching the game in the living or family room. She's watching it back here. And I know it looked like a tripping penalty and no call. And then they go and score. Go, oh, come on. She's screaming and yelling. So, but they have to have somebody show them that hockey is important. And football's easy because it's been there forever. It's been the big sport forever.
Right.
And baseball is was it apple pie Chevrolet and baseball?
Right.
It was a thought.
Yeah.
So hockey has to overcome these other sports because
Right.
Football's played at the same time we start. They just started like late August or September, and we start a month later, and then the NBA starts 2 weeks after that. So you're competing with other sports, and I got to tell you, I mean, how many big controversies about these players doing the wrong things is more. It's not hockey that it happens to, it's the other sports. And I do believe our hockey players are much better examples for our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, not that there isn't basketball and football players that are great examples. I mean, Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just classy, But there's hockey guys just their lives show it. So, but here's the thing is, like I said, it's competing with sports that are just been more popular. And that's a hard thing to overcome. But I think we're slowly doing it. It's happening. Like Cody said, it's growing. I mean, our salary cap's starting to grow like crazy. So these teams can start spending more money,
Right.
which you're going to obviously see the players make more money. Because you think about it, Ohtani makes $70 million a year.
That's insane.
I'll just use LeBron, $53 million a year. I'm sure he's not the highest paid. Guys are making $60 million in the NBA.
Yeah.
Who's the highest paid? Can you tell me who the highest paid player in hockey is?
Oof.
He's in your division.
Technically, no.
No?
That contract doesn't start till next year. So right now it's technically Draisaitl.
Gonna be the most expensive player.
Next year it will be Kaprizov.
Kaprizov from the Minnesota
Wild. Minnesota Wild. Yeah,
$17 million. I mean, because McDavid just signed 2 years for 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
Insane.
There's a reason behind that.
Yeah.
He wants to win a cup.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten on the doorstep every year, so.
Well, the last 2 years he's got it at the doorstep. And he's wanting to see the Edmonton Oilers give him what it takes to win.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't do it in 2 years and it doesn't get better, he's a free agent. And who isn't going to want? Cody calls him McJesus.
Connor McJesus, yeah.
I mean, he's if you have never watched him up close,
the
speed, the power, the skill is incredible. And that's what really I've noticed has grown exponentially over the last 10 years is these are elite players that can do some of the craziest things. Wearing razor blades on your shoes and with a stick and people pounding on you. And oh my gosh, what they can do with that. It's incredible. And that's, I mean, if that could be shown to America on a constant basis, people would be more interested in it. I mean, like have a shootout part of the All-Star game, if you want to call it. They didn't have one this year, or just a skills competition where they can do whatever they want with that puck. and score a goal on the goalie. I see him shoot it between their legs with the stick behind him. Those Michigan goals are something incredible to watch. I mean, who wouldn't want to watch that?
I mean, I'm going to piggyback off what you're saying. Instead of having the all-star players do the skills, why don't you bring the actual skill players that are the best at those things to do the skill part? Like that year, Zegras wasn't an all-star, but he was at the shootout one. Do something like that. Like Martin Firk. I would love to see him do the hardest shot challenge because he'll probably win. But he ain't going to make the NHL All-Star game.
No.
Is he even playing in the NHL right now?
I don't know. I
think he's still in the AHL.
But like, I want to see, if we're going to have a skills competition, I want to see people that have the best skills to do those certain things. Like, no, I don't want to see Colton Parayko do a shootout challenge. I'd rather see Mason McTavish or Trevor Zegras do it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It makes me think, like, I remember watching like the NBA All-Star game and how just like ridiculously kind of dumb it is, because there's no effort of defense at all or anything. Like, do you think having an all-star game is good? Like all-star skills competition, all these things, like, is that actually good? Do you think that would help the NHL at all, or like would it turn into what the NBA is and just be this?
I truly believe that the game isn't helping.
Yeah.
But I think a skills competition with flair.
Yeah.
Let these guys show what they can do would be fun. Like Cody said, maybe they're not going to be an all-star, but they are so good at, Kent Johnson.
Yeah, another good one.
I mean, I don't know how many Michigans he scored playing for Michigan. I think that's how the name started.
No, it started way before that.
But I mean, those guys that had an incredible team with a lot of draft picks on it, and they were dominating college hockey. But you have guys that are just so talented, and it's so much fun to watch. I mean, I love to watch On the Fly, which is on it's on the NHL network. It's on a lot, and they'll show the top 10 plays.
Oh, really?
And it's not necessarily just the guys making fancy shots, but great passes, great saves. I mean, if people were seeing all that and see how much talent these guys have, it's incredible. And that game is, I think hockey's way more physical than football. I mean, you're having plays for 12 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, if 12 seconds, chances are that quarterback's sacked by then if he hasn't thrown the pass, or the running back's been tackled unless he went all the way for a touchdown. But hockey is 60 minutes of craziness.
Yeah. And just a constant sprint.
and they can fight.
Yeah.
And most of the time, all they do is sit for 5 minutes and they're right back on the ice. They're not getting suspended or fined or ejected out of the game or anything. Nope, they sit for 5 minutes and they're right back on the ice.
That's kind of wild to me.
That's why in Olympic hockey, you didn't see a whole lot of that, because it's you get ejected.
Yeah. Oh, you get ejected for that in Olympics.
Yes, you do.
Tom Wilson and
Chakron from France, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
He's known for being he's Tom Wilson in the French league.
Nice.
no, he's like a criminal in the French league, from what I heard.
Tom Wilson is known for being Tom Wilson too. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I guess every league or team needs a Tom Wilson, one of those, like, I hate to play against him, but he's great to have on my team because he just pisses everybody else off. Like a Marchand. He
has been better, I will say that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would take him in a heartbeat on my team.
The way he's playing this year, who wouldn't?
Right.
I mean, he deserved to be on the Olympic team.
Yeah.
And I don't think he'd never played on the Olympic team before, had he?
Well, I mean, nobody really on that team other than Crosby and Doughty.
Yeah, because it's been a few years, or a few Olympics since they played, 12 years ago? Yeah. But, I mean, has he made the All-Star team?
All-Star team, probably. But I was not shocked when they announced him. I was like, yeah, he deserves it. Like, and I can see him, and they had him on the top line with McDavid and Celebrini to start.
Wow.
What a line that was.
Yeah, I know.
One of the other questions I had, and sort of snowball off of that, but ESPN came out with a stat report a while back about some of the stats within the NHL and some of the growth that they've seen. They reported a 40% increase in female viewership. And I'm honestly, when I initially read this, I was like, is this one of those like Taylor Swift effects? Like where, a famous celebrity dates a hockey player and she brings all of her fans with her and they just fall in love with hockey. The only thought I had was like Tate McRae and like,
well, she's always been around the hockey thing a little bit.
Right.
I want to see what your guesses are, and then I'll tell you what the 2 right answers are.
Ooh,
My initial thought is with this would be
no pressure.
Yeah, right. Would be the success of the Olympic women's hockey.
Okay.
But that I feel like that's too soon right now for me to say that it's a 40% increase year over year. So I don't think that I feel like the success of the women's hockey is irrelevant. I think what Gary's mentioning about style and aesthetic, maybe more women are finding it more intriguing and entertaining to watch hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the rules can be confusing if you watch it for the first time ever, I think it's still an entertaining game.
Yeah.
And what's another thought that I don't know? I'm trying to think of like the only thought I have is like the celebrity effect, is the Taylor Swift effect, but I don't know.
All right, Dad, what's your idea?
Yeah, what are we thinking?
Well, the women that are passionate about hockey, I mean, they want a tough guy. They want someone women like security and they like someone who would protect them. I mean, you watch hockey players, aren't they that?
A man with no teeth?
They're willing to give up their teeth for you.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it, especially it's a lot of younger women.
Mm-hmm.
They find, should I say it on, I think they find that sexy.
Yeah.
So they're watching someone. I go, why aren't the guys around me like these guys?
Yeah.
They're wimps. They won't even ask me out.
Yeah.
It's funny is I had a friend hit up somebody I went to high school with that, and she was a girl. Mm-hmm. She was one of the most popular girls. And I called her up and apologized for what this guy did. Mm-hmm. And she told me, I didn't go to the proms because nobody would ask me because they were afraid to ask me. Mm-hmm. I didn't go to the prom. I went to other people's proms because they asked me.
Yeah.
And I go, so, hockey players are brash and they're rugged.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women find that attractive. And I think that's part of it. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing. So I'm going to hand it over to my podcast partner.
I think we're 0-2 here.
Mr. GQ, Cody.
Just let me...
Yeah, fix that hair.
Let's put a fan on, get the hair flowing.
So Nathan, you're partially right with the women's game growing. I will say that is part of it. But there's 2 main answers. One was that new hockey show, Heated Rivalry.
Oh, yeah, God, okay. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, because a couple of the podcasts I listened to, they started doing like a review every week on the episode that came out. Because a new episode came out every week. And they said their subscribers jumped, their viewers jumped, the comments, and like just all jumped during that time. And they noticed they were getting more like seeing different names in their live streams. Yeah. And they were asking about it. And they had the author of the book come on the podcast, and a couple of the actresses or actors or people even the guy that created the show was on the podcast.
Wow.
So that's one. And that's also the same answer as this next one, but the hockey, those spicy romance books that all the women love. hockey is the number one sport. Like, it's higher than baseball, football, soccer, tennis, whatever. Hockey is the most popular sport by
They're
far.
rugged and they're tough, and the chicks love them.
So my wife, her and her friend run a book club together for their those kind of books. And when we go to a game, my wife will literally take pictures of the players, and she's like, "Oh, because it's for her the book club and stuff like that."
Sure.
No, I know what it is. I'm not worried about that. Yeah. I mean, I don't blame her, but yes, but no, she's getting it because she can put it on her Instagram or Twitter for her book club stuff, because that's what the girls want. And I mean, you see how some of the guys warm up, how the stretches they do. I mean, that also adds to it. My wife's hockey boyfriend, who plays for the San Jose Sharks, Alexander Wenberg. I remember because when we went to go to a preseason game, she remembered him on Seattle. So he played on Seattle. And I guess there was a stalker girl that was writing books about him. Oh. And the wife had to kind of get involved with it. And legally stuff happened too.
Oh my gosh.
So, like I said, and when we went to go to the preseason game against the Sharks, she's like, oh, is my boyfriend playing? I'm like, no, he's not playing tonight. She's like, oh. Oh my gosh. I mean, he is a good looking guy. I will say that. So I'm like, okay, I get it. But yeah, those are the heated rivalry show. Because me and my wife just finished watching the SNL with Connor Story. He played the Russian guy in that show.
Okay. Oh yeah, they had the Hillary Knight and Keller on, and they got back at Trump for sliding the women in his little comment, right?
I caught it right away when she said that, and it was good. I will say that it was good.
I found it funny.
Yeah, I found it hilarious. And then I can tell you this: Hillary Knight and Megan Keller are way better actors than Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes. Oh my God, Jack Hughes and Quinn, they were like, yeah, I totally remember that. And the girls were all like, kind of like, like
into it.
And the guy, you could tell Jack Hughes and Quinn Hughes just looked so uncomfortable. And you could totally tell like they were reading lines kind of thing.
Yeah. Sort of like us on our first podcast.
Yes, exactly like that. We were, it was what?
That's how mine was too.
After episode 10, I was like, we got to just get rid of reading crap and just go with the flow. And I think after that is when we really started getting a lot better at that. Yeah. So, but yes, those are the two things: the spicy romance books and heated rivalry. Even though heated rivalry was technically a book, but that's I would say the main reason why we're seeing a jump. And then also, like I said, the women's game is also up there. I would say too, because I mean they even expanded to 2 new teams and they're looking to expand more. So
really.
Should I start watching this heated rivalry? Are we going to have something on our podcast now?
I think it's a little late for that.
Or should I have your mom watch it and I'll just let her come in on that part? I think she'd love that.
We'll talk about this after the show.
Sorry.
And I don't want to know what you guys are watching like that, okay?
That's funny. That's really funny to me. It's interesting, like, how different it's so. I find that so intriguing how different that is, and how just like generally speaking, women become like, I guess, influenced to watch hockey. Like it took like smutty novels. It took romance TV shows, all these things.
Nathan,
to come out.
Careful with that language there. You have any women podcast watchers? They may not think that was smutty. I mean, titillating might have been a good word.
No, that's what they call them smut books. That's what they call them.
Oh,
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So, no, Nathan's on par. He's saying the right terms.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. Edit that out.
Like I said, I know that because my wife is a huge smut book reader. So
yeah. And it's really like, it's wild to me, like how the whole process works, and like, why is it that that's what it takes, I guess, to influence women to want to watch hockey? it almost is like, look at how hot these dudes are that play. Come and watch our game. It's like it kind of reminds me of that, and it's just like really interesting to me.
Well, that only can hook them for so long.
Yeah, right.
But it leads them to the game, and then the game keeps them if they really get into it, because it is, I think, the most visually exciting sport you can watch.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing but action.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the fighting. Like, I know that's why my wife loves watching. Like, whenever I'm watching a game on my computer, I can and she's right here on her computer. As soon as I see a fight, I have a mount, so I could just flip the screen so she can watch.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
She likes the fights.
Yeah, she loves the fighting.
I can attest to that. I have seen it in action.
I agree. I think it's really cool. I think hockey is such a unique sport because, like we said earlier, like there's no other. Any other sport out there that allows fighting. Like they welcome it with open arms. And like, yeah, come play our sport and fight each other. You have to sit out for 5 minutes, but you can come back and you can fight again. But
and then they're like best friends after the game, and they even
so
go get
cool.
dinner together sometimes. It's crazy.
Yeah, we just fought on the ice.
Yeah. I knocked out my tooth, but I like you now.
Yeah, let's go get a steak together, man.
Hey, you knocked out my tooth, you owe me steak.
Yeah, like maybe that's an insider like thing. That's one of those unspoken rules that if you get into a fight and you knock a tooth out, you have to buy the man a steak.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can eat it
with that missing tooth.
Yeah, I don't know how you're gonna be able to do it with the tooth, but I just find that so interesting. Like I think with like football and thinking of football, I've seen scraps happen all the time on the field, and like it becomes this crazy like dramatic thing of like they now hate all this other like dramatic stuff. But like you said, like Gary, like you said with hockey, like they're just like they're just dudes, just dudes playing the game. They get mad, they fight. All right, cool. We punch each other. Cool. All right, let's play the game. And it just moves on.
Do you understand why they fight?
Oh, I know there's a lot of chirping.
No, it's not just the chirping. It's like I heard this way back when Gretzky was playing, which, I mean, we haven't seen anything. Even McDavid isn't Gretzky.
Yeah.
That what would players do? They're knocking him down. They're beating on him a little bit. And then obviously you come and you fight. Well, wonder if that's illegal now. Well, you're getting mad, and you're getting madder because you haven't been able to pass out any kind of aggression other than putting somebody and hitting them on the boards legally. Stick play comes in to happen when you lose your cool. So now you have people hitting each other with their sticks. And I'm not talking about a high stick. I mean, we saw the damage that did to Jack Hughes.
Yeah.
In the Olympics. And that wasn't a guy mad. That's a guy who lost control of a stick. But could you imagine him swinging a stick, purposely hitting him there? Right. And that's one of the reasons they allow the fighting. It takes away a major. You hit Gretzky, McSorley is going to hurt you a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's not going to hit you with the stick. You're going to throw some punches. And if you ever notice the way they do it, 5 or 6 punches. I mean, I have seen a guy knocked out a few times, but most time it's just get that aggression out. Now they know we go after Gretzky. We're going to have to pay a price for it. And it just, the teams, it calms them down, and it's less. So they do that so everybody can get out their aggressions, get their statement to the other team without more severe injury.
Right.
So now I've seen people lose their cool and really hit someone with a stick. They're definitely gone after that. So they know that can't happen. So you let them get the aggression out. Injuries do happen that way, but it's a lot less than somebody losing their cool and using a weapon like a hockey stick.
Right.
Because that can do some severe damage. So that's exactly why they allow the fighting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's cruel and shouldn't happen, but it happens. It's a purpose to it.
Yeah, well, I think it makes a lot of sense. Like if you got a bunch of grown men playing a competitive sport, like it surprises me that baseball, basketball, football doesn't have any form of like aggression release in their game, because like with every other sport, people compete, people get mad,
Well,
and I think it's what you're saying, what you're mentioning here is the fact that they have basically a sword, like a wooden sword
right.
that they can really mess people up with. But like with
Yeah.
every other sport, there's no like equipment really that you can really do some damage. But like this is solely the fact is because they have a hockey stick.
I didn't know if you don't know, like in baseball,
Yeah,
back in my day when I was younger,
yeah,
I just hit a grand slam against you.
hmm,
The next guy coming up better look out because the ball's coming at his head.
yeah,
And back then they were throwing in the 80s. Some of them, 85, 90.
yeah.
Well, you guys got a guy throwing at 105 now.
That's
What if
wild.
that hits you in the head?
Yeah,
You're,
you might have to retire.
no, you might be dead.
Yeah.
So now it's not allowed. Now you can
Mhm.
brush them back, but if you brush them back with 105, you could get ejected without even
Yeah.
hitting them, or you're
Right.
going to get a warning that happens again. You're done.
Wow.
And that goes for both teams after that pitch. So
Mhm.
they've tried to control that a little bit because the pitchers today, that's why you see so many injuries with pitchers. I
Yeah.
don't think human beings were meant to throw the ball 100 miles an hour all the time. But that's how they've taken away that pitcher's thing. But
Yeah.
what I still don't understand, our hitters aren't hitting better than they were even way back in those days. We had a lot better hitting going on because those
Yeah.
100 miles an hour fastballs are pretty hard to hit.
Yeah. It's like I saw it was like it's like 0.3 seconds to react from a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, which is
Crazy.
just ridiculous. Like I don't know how
Do you know what
you
the hardest thing to do is in
uh
sports?
but hit a hole in one.
Well, that's hard. But um, having 108 mile an hour puck come at you and have the reaction time to stop it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's
And
basically
it's
this.
not a circular thing, it's a little
Yeah, it's
flat
really
thing.
tiny. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's coming at you. And if that hits you, I mean, in the head, that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
I can't even believe why everybody isn't wearing a cage or those
Yeah.
glass. I would not be playing that game, with all this open and lose all my
Right.
teeth like you
Yeah, that's why
see
everybody loses
happen.
teeth so much. But then that would take away from the majors and bleeding? Like that, like if you have a high stick but if everybody's wearing the
It
visor,
would probably take that away
yeah.
unless they would have a severity of how you did it. I
Yeah.
mean, that could be a type 1, 2 minutes. Type 2 would be 4 minutes, and the
Hmm.
bad one would be 5 minutes or a game misconduct.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, that's why that we have that in hockey.
Yeah. That's really cool. It's interesting to think about and intriguing as to why other sports don't necessarily have that. And it surprises me that football doesn't, because I think it's also like very similar and close to hockey. Like it's such a physical sport, but there's no like form of release for them other than hitting each other. But like there's no way to get rid of that. How as in hockey you can fight and you're like, all right, cool, we're cool, we punched, it's fine, whatever, let's move on and play. But now with football, there's really there's nothing similar, and it's really intriguing to me to think about. But I wanted
Yeah.
to ask just this final question, and then that'll wrap up the episode of this State of the Union. My thought is like, where do we think the rest of this year is going? Do we think that after the gold medal win, that hockey will become a household sport? Will it sort of start to compete with football? I think I saw some stat earlier that football, I think, is now taken over baseball as like America's sport. Do you think hockey will ever get to that?
That's a great question. That's it. some thought. I think football overtook baseball a while ago.
Yeah.
It's just a sport that seems to really have people's passion.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey's still growing. I can't tell you. I don't think in my lifetime that hockey would overtake football right now. But then again, like I said, I mean, if I was a young guy with sons, I'd much rather have them look at a hockey player than any other sport, just because most of those guys stay married to their wives, and they're not out with kids from I don't know how many different women.
Yeah.
Basketball, football. I don't hear much about baseball on that, but I mean, it's a more clean sport. But as far as an example for our young men in this world, hockey is way better than football or basketball.
Yeah.
And I would hope it would grow. But I think it is growing. It's just growing slowly.
Yeah.
And football, it's been a pretty popular sport from day one.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. I mean, everybody's having Super Bowl parties.
Right.
Have you ever been to a Stanley Cup party?
No, because I think it's the only downside, I guess, of hockey is that everything is in a best of 7 series. So, like with the Stanley Cup, like says with the Super Bowl, it's a one-off game. It happens once, and that's it. But with all the series, like with basketball and baseball and hockey, there's just a lot of games, and I think it'd be hard to kind of have that sort of culture, to have multiple World Series sort of parties. But I do argue that the Stanley Cup is probably the most elegant or sought after trophy in all of major sports. I would say the cup itself is probably the best trophy you could ever win.
Well,
and objectively,
it has a much stronger history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because every year the cup ends up in the water. It has milk and cereal in it.
Yeah.
Champagne in it.
Yeah.
God knows what else in it.
Right.
Every player gets some time with it.
Yeah.
And I don't see that in any other sport. So, and it has every Stanley Cup winner's name on it.
Right.
I mean, think about that. I mean, it's historical. And I agree, it's probably the most prized trophy in sports. So, I mean, I just would hope the whole sport of hockey, more people get involved with it. Don't let one experience ruin it for you, especially if you don't understand it.
Right.
Like I said, Hockey 101, Royally Quacked.
Yeah, here's the plug.
Maybe we'll clean it up and do it again, and make some new ones, because I think we're going to be much better at presenting it this time. So, but I do believe that's the biggest hindrance, is that it's just not understood.
Right.
So,
yeah, I agree. I think the trade-off of entertainment to understanding is like the balance,
it's huge if you've never watched it before.
Yeah.
And people go, oh yeah, hey, the Kings won, that's great.
Yeah.
I got a guy at work who's the biggest Kings fan, and I'm in the office now because I supervise a team. Every time the Kings play, he'll walk over my door. Well, when are they going to fire Hiller? Well, he's going to come by Monday. And I go, they did.
They finally did.
He's very passionate about it.
I can only imagine him coming in with a popping champagne and just.
I think that might get him fired. So I don't think he's going to do that. I think he's smart enough not to open it up in the office.
That's funny.
So,
yeah.
But like I said, part of our podcast and why we do it is to get hockey's name out more.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to get, we've had Kyle Carr from the Locked On Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, I should say. We've had Eddie Garcia from Locked On Kings.
Cool.
And then Eddie does a podcast with his best friend. Now, they're the only one close to us because Stan is a Ducks fan and Eddie's a Ducks fan. Doug. Did I say Doug?
You said Stan.
Did I? I did. His last name's Stan something, right?
No, Stolhand.
Okay.
Close enough.
I never can remember his last name for whatever. Sorry. But we've had them, both of them on separately. We've never had them on. We got to get them on together.
Get them on together.
That'd be cool. That'd be a cool episode.
We had Jesse Cohen on from All the King's Men.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying. If you get more well-known people on, people might start listening, and you know, maybe we can bring some hockey fans.
Yeah.
That aren't hockey fans before, and that's the ultimate goal of it because we love it so much. We just want to share it with the world.
Right. That's cool.
We have a Ducks. I'm pretty sure you've probably seen like Ducks meme pages and stuff like that. And we have a guy, Colby. He runs the Anaheim Ducks memes page, and I don't know how he comes up with some of these memes so fast. I swear, like I watched the game, like okay, there's a goal, and then I literally go on Instagram and it's already posted.
Wow.
Like, how did you do that? And it's like he's a huge Cutter Gauthier fan and stuff like that. He was great to have. We had him on our show once when we were doing like our Ducks grades and stuff like that. I like to bring different people on and stuff like that too, because you get like a different point of view for each one. But we got to get Doug and Eddie on together. I think that'd be great. Yeah. They'd be so much fun to have on. I'm working on getting other people on. I'm working as a producer.
Cool.
If you ever seen one with Eddie on with me and Cody, I laughed so. Oh, and Jesse Cohen. Jesse, he kept I'm taking over your podcast. I'm laughing.
I don't care.
I'm laughing so hard. And then I listened to it, and he was just like on him the whole time.
Yeah, he was making fun of me. It was funny.
So funny, you know. And we're all friends afterwards. Just like, you know, knock out the guy's tooth and go have a steak. Yeah. So I don't hate much of anything about hockey. I mean, we probably really close as Vegas Golden Knights. But, I mean, just saying. But honestly, I don't really hate them. I just don't like them when they play my team.
That's fair. I don't like them either because they've always beat us too. So
yeah.
I'm just born and raised to hate Chicago as well, so that's just a given. But
and we've been on a Chicago podcast, the Hockey Princess, if you've never heard of her.
She's great.
Might be someone you want to contact because I mean, her and her dad are really good at what they do.
Yeah, really.
We've been on individually. We've been on twice on their podcasts each, and it was just awesome. They're such a nice people.
You also forgot to mention that Eddie and Doug have the first ever hockey podcast.
Yeah.
20 years.
Puck
20
podcast.
Years.
Puck podcast.
The Puck
podcast. We're giving you a shout out on Nathan's podcast.
How about that? Look at all the ancestry right there. That's so cool.
Even Jeff Merrick, you know who Jeff Merrick is, right? He has his own hockey show. He used to be on 32 Thoughts with Elliot Friedman.
Okay.
So even him and Greg Wyshysky is his name. He's a hockey writer for ESPN. Even they knew that the Puck podcast was the first podcast, like for hockey.
Wow.
So, and then, Dad, you want to hear something funny? Mom texted me saying, "I hear your dad talking a lot. Are you getting to say anything?"
Well, she didn't realize that you were off for about 5 minutes at least.
Yeah, I know. I got to look at that whole. I got to figure out this whole internet thing.
I'll shut up. You can talk. You can talk all you want now. I'll be quiet.
No, what you're saying is great. I mean,
I think it went great.
Yeah,
it was good either way. It was good either way.
Well, I got to tell you, we wouldn't even be doing this if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
And a shout out to him. Mm-hmm. He does all the editing. He does all the advertising. I just have to come up with content and be on with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he does a fantastic job. I am so proud.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I'd love to ask what's the next step, I guess. Like what's the end dream for Royally Quacked here?
Getting paid to do this full time.
Yeah.
If we could, if I was making enough money to make this a daily show, I would do it in a heartbeat. If I was making money like a full time gig, I would do it in a heartbeat. And the funny thing is, like, we could talk other sports too, not just hockey.
Mom texted me we're having too much fun.
Oh, yeah, we are.
That's great.
Yeah. But
good.
So
we're gonna have to have more state of the league addresses.
Yeah, exactly.
Ask us back anytime. I mean, I do have weekends are best for me because I work like
same
11 to 7:30.
Oh my gosh.
So, but I mean, I can even bring my stuff I stay in Orange County from Monday to Friday night, but I can bring my stuff if we could do it a nighttime, like after 7:30, or I might be able to get off early one day and do it if, something.
As long as I'm not on call that week, I'm pretty easy.
Yeah. But I thanks for asking us to be on. I've had a blast. I didn't even, I always wonder how it's going to go. And I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
And
I did too. I thought it was really cool to hear your input, and I'm hoping that I can do a place of plug for y'all, for some of the people that watch this episode, to come to your platform and listen to your stuff. So hopefully,
thanks. We appreciate that, and
absolutely.
We could always have you on our podcast as a guest once, and
absolutely,
you're gonna have to brush up on Kings and Ducks a little bit. But
I'd love to. That'd be a lot of fun. I'd have to. I do need to get a bit more into watching. I've always wanted. I've been very close to buying like the NHL center ice ticket, of just like the overt or whatever it's called, where you can access every out of market game. But yeah, since I'm out of the St. Louis market and I'm sort of in the Chicago market, it's kind of weird. I feel like an enemy behind enemy lines over here.
That's weird.
Yeah. I'm swimming in Chicagoland up here, and I'm from St. Louis. So like I was born and raised to hate Chicago, but like with
I understand.
Cubs and Blackhawks, like that's sort of like the antithesis.
As a Ducks fan, I completely understand.
Yeah. So, but I've had a blast, and I'll put my hopes and prayers for y'all, and
appreciate that.
You in the future, for you to achieve hopefully your goal of doing Royally Quacked as a daily show. I think that'd be really cool, and when that does happen, I'll be like, wow, I talked to those guys. They were super cool. And when that does happen, it will someday. I'm sure it will, because your content is awesome. So
when I retire, or this starts paying way better.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's really hard for those interested in starting a podcast out there. Like it is not an easy thing to take in. And I've had to spend a lot more money than I thought I did just to transition from different things. I didn't realize I had to buy a microphone. Now I've got to go buy a camera because my laptop camera is terrible. So there's just so many small little things that you don't think about. You're like, oh crap, I gotta go buy this now. Oh no, like what about shorts? How do I market this thing? And you're just like,
the shorts. I really just started learning as I was doing it. No one really helped me. I just started finding what we talked about and stuff like that, and then just making the shorts of it and just posting it.
Yeah, that's cool. If you want a little help, Cody, when he has time, he would help you.
Yeah, I'll have to reach out.
We're all about helping other podcasters.
Cool.
Yeah,
as much as we can.
So it's actually funny because speaking of like new podcasters, there was someone on a Facebook group. They reached out in the whole group, and they're like, "Hey, I want to start a hockey podcast. Does anyone know how to help me?" And I reached out and I was like, "Hey, direct message me. I'll help you."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Hey, how would you do this?" And I just told him, like, "Hey, this is just, if you want to start doing video, it's up to you." I'm like, we didn't start doing video till like a year later.
Yeah.
I was like, so it's completely up to you how you want to do it. And I was like, hey, just make sure you have good wired you don't need like top of the line headphones. You just need good wired headphones. The mic is where I would really invest in, but you can get a good mic to start with and then upgrade later and stuff like that. And I was just telling him, like, this is how we did it. I'm like, if you need any help, and he's hit me up. He's like, hey, is it cool if I could put stuff in my background with? He's a Philadelphia Flyers fan, and I can't stand Flyers for the Cutter Gauthier reasons.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, I'm helping this guy out with a podcast. That's the least I can do.
The whole gritty thing. I don't get gritty.
Yeah, he's funny. I don't mind him. It doesn't bug me, but Wild Wings better anyways. But he's like, if I have this stuff in the background, am I going to get in trouble? I'm like, no, like that. I think people encourage you to have your team stuff in the background. So
right.
Yeah,
like
I can. If you can see mine, that's
yours is
that's a blanket of the Kings.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't mind helping people because you never know, like that can help you later on in life.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. I fully agree, and that's something that I actually rearranged my living room just to have a blank canvas in the background. Because my previous episode, you viewed the entire living room, and in the background, you just saw my dog like pacing in the back, like walking back and forth. And I was like, if I was watching this, like I'd get so distracted just watching my dog like walk back and forth. And I'm like, what do I need to do?
We turned our guest room into an office because of the podcast.
Cody's dog barks, and we hear him on the podcast every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think that's more. I think it adds to the authenticity of it. You know. It's like I'm not like Joe Rogan in a multi-million-dollar freaking podcast studio, you know, but you know, it's just
really
doing things that we love to do. We like talking about the things we like to talk about. So
absolutely.
Yeah, this is a video episode number 2 for me after being a year. I just did audio.
Yeah, like I said, it's normal for people just to do audio.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I think we really grew a lot more once we did video because they want to have a visual of who they're talking or hearing and stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
And then you know, we have some fun play. We have, you know, friends of ours that come on the podcast, and of course, most of those guys are Ducks. So I am the whole Jesse Cohen and Eddie thing is because I actually had the advantage for once. I'm usually at least I'm one down most of the time, and I get picked on a lot. So,
and who helped get you those Kings co-host?
I already told them you do most of all of that.
Yeah,
you know. So, I mean, he has more daytime freedom than I do.
Somewhat, yeah.
Well, great. Well, this was awesome. I really enjoyed this State of the League address. And for those out there, our plan is to actually do something like this, maybe twice a season, and just kind of talk about why we should care about hockey. You know, why should we care? Why do people care? As some of the things that have been happening in the NHL, is it good? Is it bad? So hopefully, for those out there that enjoyed the episode, there'll be another one coming soon, and plan for two every year. That's the thought, and love to keep the State of the League address moving and rolling. So Cody and Gary, thank you so much. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and hope everyone enjoyed the episode out there. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.